Hi everybody, it's Lynn from the Swirlydoos Education Design Team, and I'm here to do my monthly technique tag for you folks that got the amazing October technique kit with the Prima album and the resist pages, and oh my goodness, so much amazingness. And we've got silks, acrylic glaze, and we've got primary elements, and we've got gesso, and we've got gel medium. We just have so much goodness in this kit. So if you made the album and you had any leftovers like I did, this is what I created from my leftovers. This is from one of the canvas pages, and the little flourishes are from the watercolor type paper. And then the background of the tag was created using strips from the Prima papers that were in your pack. So, and then there's just a sundry flowers and whatnots and what for. So I'm just going to show you how I created this tag out of the leftovers from the amazing October technique kit, which can be found at swirlydoos.com if there are any left. So without further ado, let's get going with our technique tag. So basically the tag that I created is just from a piece of, look, call me before. I even had a message on the back of it. It's just a junk piece of cardboard or chipboard that I had laying around the house. And I've written all the dimensions on here. It's 6 3/4 inches tall, 4.5 inches wide, and then it's the slant here is made by being 1 inch over from the edge and 1 1/4 inches down. So now that I have all of that, I'm just going to, I've drawn it all out. Now I'm just going to use my scissors and cut out my tag. So I've cut out my tag, and all I've done is I've torn strips of paper that came in the kit. So I'm just going to be randomly sticking this down, kind of crumpling up the paper as I go, and creating basically kind of a mosaic using the paper, not being concerned whether it lays flat or we like the little ruffly edges. So that's what I'm going to be doing with it. I have my paper kind of laid out here, so now I'm just going to use a paintbrush and dip it into the gloss gel medium, and I'm going to cover the tag with the gel medium as it is a Fabby adhesive, and I'm just going to adhere all my pieces parts down. So I've adhered all my torn pieces parts to my tag. So now I'm just going to kind of rip this so that it's in the shape of the tag. And some of them I'm just not going to rip off. I'm just going to roll in. Always works a little better if the paper's wet. Okay, so there's my tag. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the brick mask that came in the technique kit, and I'm going to use a little sea sponge. This is how I'm going to adhere my gesso onto my tag, and once again kind of in a random fashion. And this is going to be a little bit trickier because, oh shoot, it is kind of lumpy and bumpy, but that's okay, just roll with it. And there you have it. Now I need to let that dry. Now the next product that I'm going to be using is the Silk Acrylic Glaze. Now there's a couple words in this that are pretty amazing. Acrylic and glaze. So if it's acrylic, therefore it means that it can be used in conjunction with water. Or glaze, meaning that it's translucent in its quality. And when you opened the bottle, you just noticed that it was this shimmery, amazing goodness in here. So I decided that I wanted to try and stamp with this stuff. So I gave it a shot. So I have a big and a little flourish stamp here, and I'm just going to take my fan brush and dip it into this amazing acrylic glaze. And I'm just going to create a whitewashed area, green-washed, I guess I should say, because it is olive vine, on my craft mat. And then I'm just going to dip my stamp into the paint. And then I'm going to stamp onto my tag, which is very, very cool because, as I said, because it's a glaze, it's translucent, so you actually get to see through it all the things that you have underneath. So I'm just going to repeat this process randomly on my tag. Use a little bit of the smaller flourish. Okay, then I'm going to let that dry and I'm going to clean off my stamps. So I've created a little mixture using my primary elements, which does not come with a binder in it. So if you do not mix it with something that has a binder, then you're going to lose your mica. It will eventually flake off. So you can mix it with the gel medium that came in the kit, or I have some powdered gum arabic that came from Creative Imaginations. It's called Bind and Resist. So I created this little mixture here of equal parts of the primary elements and the gum arabic and some water. Now, I had said that we were using some of the leftover pages that I didn't use in the kit, so I have cut these flourishes from what seems to be the watercolor paper. So now I'm just going to paint this mixture onto my die cut images. Now, in its super concentrated form, you're going to get this dark, shimmery, yummy looking flourish. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. And then what I want to do is I'm going to dilute this down a little bit more. And I'm just going to kind of run the edges of my tag through this. And it's interesting because in the diluted form, it's more green. Okay, and so I'm just going to spritz that with water and let it have its way. And then we'll need to dry that. And you may see that some of the glaze ran when it got hit by the water, but that's okay because it's just all white noise in the background and it just gives it more of an amazing distressed look. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fan brush, and with my gesso, I am just going to brush on a little bit over top of all that I just did. And there you have the base of your tag. Cut a set of wings out of cardboard, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to peel off the top layer. And I don't want the whole thing to come off, I just want parts of it to come off. Kind of like that. And I'm going to do that to the other wing. also. Oops. Oh well, I got a little bit more than I wanted, but that's okay. All right, so then using my fan brush and a bit of gesso, I'm just going to kind of wash over the wings. In a rather random order, just like that. And then I'm just going to let them dry. Now the next thing, I have these canvas hearts, and I really kind of wanted to pick up the pink that was in here, and Sweet Whispers Radiant Rain Shimmering Mist really was kind of the closest thing that I had in my spray mists that were going to match. You may have something in your own little stash there of mists that will go just perfect. If not, then you can just pick another color from the color palette that we're working with. So as I like to do, I like to spritz them with water first because it really just helps them grasp the color. And then I'm just going to create some puddles of my shimmering mist, and then I'm going to run the edges, just the edges of my wings. Oh, I still have green on my fingers. Shoot. I know, ladies, embrace imperfection. So I'm just going to have to because there's a little bit of the green on here. So I'm just going to continue to dip my wings in this little shimmery yumminess. And I'm going to repeat the process with the other set of wings. Now the cool thing that you're going to notice that's happening here is this canvas curls. And sadly, I can't figure out which side curls better. So you're going to have one set of wings that's going to curl really, really good, and the other one you'll have to kind of help it along. Okay, so I've dipped my wings. Then I'm going to create just another little puddle, and I'm going to dip my finger in here, and I'm just going to kind of hit it a little bit harder and just put some depth around the edges. Just gives it a little darker tone of the mist that you're using, and it also gives it a little added extra bling. As you can see, this wing is curling the opposite way. So we're just going to have to gently work with him so that he'll curl the right way. And we'll let him dry. Now to kind of help facilitate the wing effect, I'm just going to go in and just kind of cut a little bit to give this a little more feathery effect, just because I wanted to. The chipboard wings are dry and the canvas wings are dry, and basically all I'm going to do is I'm just going to run some adhesive onto my cardboard wing, and I'm just going to adhere the canvas wing down, and I'm just going to let it do its thing. And that's so cool how that looks like that. And we'll do the same with the other one. Just kind of right down the center, because we don't want the edges to stick down. We just want the canvas to stick to the cardboard wing. Isn't that so cool how those look? Okay, so basically for the rest of the tag, we have our flourishes that were cut and painted with the primary elements. And basically all I did was I took these and cut these apart. Now on my original one, I had run these through an embossing folder, but the paper became very brittle and crisp, and though it may look very cool, it just started falling apart. So that's not going to work very well. So just learn from my mistakes. So we've got these parts, okay, that we're going to use here, and I just used a bunch of different flowers, some that came in the kit, some that didn't come in the kit. And I just brushed on these little tea roses, came in the kit, and I just took my fan brush and brushed on some gesso on them. I had these little daisies, in which this one is colored using the watered down golden bamboo. And if you had watched my other video, I had created this color mixing the golden bamboo primary elements with some mist that I had that created this beautiful brick color. So then you just put it all together, a little bit of twine, a little bit of ribbon, and there you have it. A very shabalicious tag created from the leftovers from your kit. I hope you've enjoyed my video. And I hope you have a fabulous day, and go create something wonderful.